Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, your space for unlocking cosmic wisdom and finding calm in life's twists and turns. Today, I'm speaking directly to all the Virgos out there because something truly unusual is about to happen in your home. It's not just a random event, it's a celestial message wrapped in mystery. Imagine this: a strange, unexpected occurrence disrupts your peaceful sanctuary, compelling you to leave for a while. It might feel unsettling, confusing, even overwhelming. But here's the twist: when you return, fortune will greet you in ways that could change your life. As an astrology researcher deeply attuned to the nuances of the zodiac, I can tell you that this isn't mere coincidence. Virgos, known for their love of order and precision, are about to be challenged in a way that pushes them beyond their comfort zone, and that's exactly where growth happens. This strange disruption will invite you to shed old habits, release control, and open yourself to new possibilities. So, if you're ready to explore how this cosmic event connects to your personal journey, mental clarity, and even unexpected blessings, stay right here. And before we dive deeper, don't forget to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, hit that like button and share this video with your fellow Virgos who might need this powerful message. Let's uncover this mystery together. Have you ever noticed how much your home feels like an extension of your own mind? For Virgos, this connection runs even deeper. It's not just about having a place to rest. It's about creating a sanctuary where every little detail reflects your need for order, cleanliness, and a sense of calm control. Virgos are often the zodiac's most meticulous organizers, drawn to routines and systems that help them feel grounded. When their environment is harmonious, their mind can breathe freely. But when something strange and unexpected disrupts this delicate balance, it can feel like the ground has shifted beneath their feet. Imagine arriving home after a long day, expecting that familiar peace, only to find a surprise that shakes your sense of stability: a broken appliance, an uninvited guest, or maybe even a sudden argument that changes the atmosphere entirely. That disruption isn't just an inconvenience. For a Virgo, it strikes at the core of their inner world. The truth is, Virgos thrive on control because it helps keep anxiety at bay. There's a psychological comfort in knowing exactly where everything belongs, having systems in place, and feeling prepared. When the order is disturbed, that comfort evaporates, often leaving a knot of tension or a flicker of panic. But here's where astrology and personal growth meet. These moments of disruption are not random. They are invitations from the universe, gentle nudges for Virgos to loosen their grip and embrace the unpredictable flow of life. Instead of resisting or trying to immediately fix everything, there's a powerful lesson in stepping back and observing. This might sound counterintuitive to someone who loves precision, but it's through this temporary surrender that new perspectives can emerge. Take the story of a Virgo friend of mine who, after years of keeping her home meticulously organized, suddenly faced an unexpected flood. Water damage forced her to leave her house for weeks. At first, the chaos overwhelmed her. She couldn't control the mess, the noise of repairs, or the uncertainty about when she'd return. But in that pause, she found a space to reflect. Away from her usual environment, she started journaling about her relationship with control and perfectionism. When she finally returned home, things were different. She had allowed herself to accept imperfections and let go of some rigid routines. This shift brought an unexpected sense of peace and even sparked creativity she hadn't felt in years. What started as a strange, disruptive event turned into a blessing disguised as a challenge. When you think about leaving your home in such circumstances, it's important to understand what this leaving really means. Often, it's less about the physical space and more about an emotional or psychological break. Sometimes, stepping away, even temporarily, from your usual environment allows your mind to reset. Psychologists call this cognitive detachment, and it's crucial for reducing stress and avoiding burnout. For Virgos, who can easily become caught in cycles of overthinking and self-criticism, detaching from their usual surroundings offers a rare chance to gain clarity. You might notice that when you're away, problems seem less overwhelming. and solutions come more naturally. The space helps dissolve the mental clutter that builds up when you're constantly trying to maintain control. In practical terms, this means that if you ever find yourself forced to leave your home due to unforeseen circumstances, try to see it as an opportunity rather than a setback. Use that time intentionally, practice mindfulness, go for walks in nature, or engage in creative activities that distract your mind from perfectionist tendencies. Even something as simple as deep breathing exercises or meditation can help you stay centered when everything around you feels uncertain. This mental space is what allows you to return refreshed, with a mindset that's ready to embrace change and opportunity rather than fear it. And here's where it gets really interesting: when you come back to your home after this strange departure, you don't just return to the same old life. There's often a shift, a new energy that invites fortune in various forms. This might look like an unexpected job opportunity, renewed relationships, or a deeper connection to yourself. It's as if the universe uses that disruption to clear away stagnant energy, making room for fresh blessings. For Virgos, who are naturally hardworking and detail-oriented, this fortune might also come through small but meaningful improvements, maybe a chance to reorganize your space with new insights, or an invitation to participate in a project that truly excites you. To prepare for these kinds of disruptions, it's essential to build resilience ahead of time. One practical tip is to create a simple grounding ritual that helps you stay calm amid chaos. For example, lighting a candle infused with calming scents like lavender or sandalwood while taking 5 slow, deep breaths can instantly reduce stress. Journaling is another powerful tool. Write down your fears and frustrations. Then follow that by listing things you're grateful for. This helps reframe your mindset and brings you back to the present moment. Also, keep a small comfort box nearby filled with items that soothe you, a favorite book, a soothing crystal, or a cherished photo. These tactile reminders anchor your mind when unpredictability strikes. By accepting that change is inevitable and practicing flexibility, you empower yourself to turn what seems like disruption into transformation. Virgos often underestimate how much strength they have when they allow themselves to flow with life rather than fight against it. The strange event at your home is not the end of your piece, it's the beginning of a new chapter where your natural skills combine with newfound openness to create something truly enriching. So, next time you feel your carefully built order shaken, remember that this cosmic shakeup is an invitation to grow, heal, and receive unexpected blessings. When you peel back the layers of this experience, of leaving and returning, you begin to see how rich the symbolism really is. The act of leaving your home isn't always just about physical distance. Sometimes it's a mental or emotional journey away from the familiar, the routines that once felt safe but have become confining. For many Virgos, who pride themselves on their ability to plan and control, this departure can feel like an uprooting, a disruption to everything they thought was steady. But this break from the usual patterns is a hidden doorway. It offers a rare chance to gain clarity, a fresh perspective that simply cannot be accessed while trapped in daily habits and expectations. Take a close friend of mine, a Virgo who ran a small but successful design business from home. When an unexpected electrical problem forced her to temporarily relocate, she was initially frustrated by the upheaval. Yet during those weeks away, she realized how deeply her need for control had created stress she hadn't fully acknowledged. Free from the familiar walls she had obsessively organized, she started to embrace imperfection, finding joy in spontaneous creativity. Upon returning, she revamped her workspace, allowing it to feel less like a rigid fortress and more like a flowing environment that invited inspiration. This willingness to loosen the reins helped her business flourish in ways she never imagined. The forced departure became a catalyst for profound transformation. This shift of perspective is essential to understanding the psychological benefits of stepping away. Cognitive science teaches us that distance, physical or mental, can help break the cycle of obsessive thinking and self-criticism. Virgos tend to internalize their worries, replaying scenarios in their heads until exhaustion sets in. But when you create space between yourself and the source of stress, your mind can rest. heal, and see solutions more clearly. During this pause, mindfulness practices become invaluable. Simply focusing on your breath, or tuning into the sensations around you, can help break the grip of anxious thoughts. Nature walks, journaling, or even casual conversations with supportive friends can reframe your experience, reminding you that imperfection isn't failure, it's growth. And when it's finally time to come back home, something magical often happens. The space you've created by stepping away invites fresh energy to flow in. This renewed energy often shows up as unexpected fortune, not necessarily in the form of wealth or material gain, but as new opportunities, deeper self-awareness, or healing relationships. One Virgo I know experienced this firsthand when a sudden move to a relative's house forced her to leave her carefully maintained apartment. Upon returning months later, she found an old friend had reached out with a job offer perfectly aligned with her passions, something that never would have happened if she hadn't taken that involuntary break. Sometimes, the universe clears away stagnant energy with these disruptions, making room for what truly belongs in your life. To embrace these changes, it helps to cultivate a mindset of openness before the unexpected strikes. Building emotional resilience through daily habits is key. For instance, setting aside time each day to reflect without judgment can calm the Virgo tendency toward harsh self-criticism. You might try a nightly ritual of writing down 3 things that went well, no matter how small, alongside one lesson learned. This simple practice can shift your focus from what's wrong to what's working. Nurturing gratitude and patience. It also prepares your mind to welcome change with curiosity rather than fear. Another practical tool is to create a flexible routine rather than a rigid schedule. Virgos often thrive on structure, but when something disrupts that structure, it can trigger stress. Instead, build routines that allow wiggle room, morning meditation followed by journaling instead of a fixed, minute-by-minute agenda. This softness creates resilience, allowing you to adapt when life throws curveballs. And because your home is your sanctuary, consider incorporating gentle energy cleansing rituals after any upheaval. Burning sage, lighting a candle with scents like lavender or frankincense, or using a crystal like amethyst can shift the atmosphere in your space, symbolically inviting peace and renewal. Importantly, the fortune you receive when you return is deeply tied to your willingness to engage with your emotions honestly. Virgos have a natural tendency to suppress feelings in favor of logic. But emotional clarity is a powerful form of fortune. During your time away, practice checking in with your feelings, allow sadness, frustration, or fear to be felt rather than pushed aside. This emotional processing makes space for healing and insight. Over time, you may find your relationships deepen as you become more authentic and compassionate with yourself and others. The psychological growth that unfolds in these moments often reveals itself in the everyday. It might be a new sense of ease waking up in your home, a shift in how you communicate with loved ones, or even the way you approach challenges at work. The strange disruption that once seemed like a crisis can become the very thing that opens your life to richer, fuller experiences. Remember, fortune isn't always flashy. It can be quiet moments of peace, small breakthroughs in self-awareness, or the gentle unfolding of long-desired dreams. So if you find yourself facing an unexpected upheaval in your home, or even just sensing that something strange is on the horizon, lean into the experience. Use this time to nurture your mind and soul. Engage in grounding practices that soothe your Virgo mind, whether it's mindful breathing, creative expression, or spending time in nature. Trust that stepping away, even when it feels difficult, is a form of self-care. And when you return, open your heart to the new opportunities waiting for you. That strange event is not an end, but a beautiful beginning. Life has a way of shaking up even the most carefully constructed plans, especially for Virgos who hold on to order like a lifeline. When Mercury, the planet that rules Virgo, starts moving in a tricky pattern, like retrograde, it can feel like everything at home is suddenly out of sync. Communication breaks down, technology glitches, and plans unravel. It's as if the universe is testing your patience, nudging you to embrace imperfection and fluidity. One Virgo friend recalls the chaos of a Mercury retrograde phase when her Wi-Fi went out just as she was about to submit an important project from her home office. Frustration threatened to overwhelm her, but instead of spiraling, she paused, took a deep breath, and shifted her focus. She wrote longhand notes, took walks to clear her mind, and used the disruption to rethink her priorities. That experience, though difficult at the moment, ultimately led her to streamline her workflow and build more resilience against future interruptions. Mercury's tricky dance isn't a curse, it's a cosmic invitation to slow down and adapt. The moon's influence adds another emotional layer to Virgo's connection to home. While Virgos pride themselves on logic and detail, the moon governs our deeper feelings and instincts. When the moon phases align with a Virgo's home life, emotions can swell unexpectedly, revealing vulnerabilities beneath their meticulous exterior. During a recent lunar phase, a Virgo client I worked with shared how she suddenly felt overwhelmed by a sense of loneliness despite being surrounded by family. It was a quiet crisis, masked by busy days and to-do lists. Recognizing this emotional undercurrent was the first step toward healing. She started small by carving out daily me time, journaling about her feelings, and gently communicating her needs to loved ones. This emotional tuning helped her reconnect with herself and others, transforming her home into a place not just of order, but also emotional nourishment. After such emotional and communicative shifts, many Virgos find that their homes need a reset, not just physically but energetically. Home cleansing rituals aren't just spiritual fluff. They're practical ways to clear old energy and invite fresh, positive vibes. Simple practices like smudging with sage or Palo Santo can create an immediate sense of clarity and calm. One Virgo I know keeps a small ritual kit by her door: white sage, a clear quartz crystal, and a small bell. Each time she feels tension creeping in, she lights the sage, walks through her rooms focusing on releasing stagnant energy, and ends by ringing the bell to invite in fresh, vibrant energy. These rituals serve as physical anchors for mental and emotional shifts, helping Virgos feel grounded amidst change. For anyone feeling stuck in a rut, creating such a mindful habit can open surprising doors. Stories always bring these concepts alive. A Virgo woman shared how after a sudden home renovation forced her to live elsewhere for several weeks, she returned to a completely different space. The upheaval initially felt invasive, but it became a blessing in disguise. She transformed her home into a haven that reflected her evolving identity, less cluttered, more open, and infused with plants and calming colors. This change wasn't just aesthetic, it mirrored her internal growth, helping her feel more aligned and peaceful. The renovation, once a source of stress, became a metaphor for the inner work she had been doing. Sometimes external chaos sets the stage for internal renewal, and for Virgos, this alignment is everything. Not every Virgo faces these changes alone. Astrological compatibility can play a subtle but important role during times of upheaval. When Virgo's grounded, detail-oriented nature is rattled, support from signs with complementary energies can feel like a lifeline. For example, Taurus, with its steady, patient energy, can offer practical help and emotional calm. A Virgo friend recounted how during a particularly difficult period of moving homes, her Taurus partner's steady presence and practical problem-solving helped keep her centered. Conversely, fellow Earth signs like Capricorn bring shared values of discipline and responsibility, while water signs like Cancer offer nurturing emotional support. Recognizing who helps you recharge during change can guide you in leaning into relationships that nourish your resilience. Building a support circle consciously, especially during unsettling times, can make all the difference. Finally, manifesting fortune after disruption isn't about wishful thinking, it's about aligning your mindset and actions with opportunity. Virgos excel at planning, but the magic happens when they combine that skill with openness to unexpected pathways. After the flood of stress and uncertainty, the key is to observe what new doors might be opening. Perhaps it's a chance to pursue a passion project you had shelved or a new community connection that feels meaningful. Mindful manifestation could be as simple as setting clear intentions each morning. What energy do you want to bring into your day? What small step can you take toward a dream? Pairing intention with action creates momentum. One Virgo client started a gratitude journal after a period of upheaval, noting daily what she was thankful for and what progress she made. Over time, she attracted new collaborations and opportunities that felt aligned with her core values. Fortune, then, becomes less about luck and more about conscious creation. The psychological dimension of these experiences cannot be overstated. Change challenges Virgo's comfort zones, triggering old fears of failure or loss of control. But by reframing disruption as growth, Virgos can rewrite these internal narratives. It takes courage to face uncertainty without falling into perfectionism or overthinking. Daily self-compassion and realistic goal-setting build this courage. Practices like guided meditation focusing on acceptance and flexibility can help retrain the mind. When your thoughts start to spiral, gently bring yourself back to the present moment. Remember that life's ebb and flow is natural, and sometimes the most profound growth happens in the cracks of discomfort. All of this weaves into a bigger cosmic lesson. Your home is more than a physical place, it's a reflection of your inner world. When that inner world shifts, your surroundings will too. The strange events that shake your foundation are often just the universe's way of asking you to evolve, to step into a more authentic, resilient, and joyful version of yourself. Trust the process. Lean into the lessons. And know that fortune is already waiting on the other side of that strange, beautiful disruption. In every moment when life's rhythm changes unexpectedly, the subtle signs your body and mind give you become invaluable. For Virgos, this can often manifest as a physical response to stress or upheaval within their home environment. The intense drive to maintain order and control doesn't just live in the mind, it affects the body deeply. When a strange event shakes your sanctuary, you may notice tension creeping into your shoulders, headaches, or an unsettled stomach. These are your body's gentle alarms, signaling that something inside needs attention. One Virgo client shared how a prolonged period of anxiety linked to household chaos resulted in disrupted sleep and frequent migraines. But as she learned to recognize these signs as messages rather than burdens, she began integrating simple wellness rituals into her day. Deep breathing, gentle yoga stretches focused on releasing tension, and mindful eating became her tools for restoring balance. This physical awareness isn't just about health, it's a bridge to deeper self-care and self-respect. The connection between mind and body is profound, especially for those with Virgo's analytical nature. Because Virgos tend to live in their heads, intellectualizing emotions, tuning into physical sensations can be revolutionary. When you start noticing how stress manifests physically, it becomes easier to intervene early before overwhelm takes hold. For example, if you feel your jaw tightening or your chest constricting during a tense moment at home, pause and consciously soften those areas. This small act of mindful body awareness can shift your entire nervous system. Another practical approach is to set reminders to check in with your body throughout the day, a quick scan from head to toe to identify tension or discomfort. Such simple pauses cultivate a habit of holistic self-care, essential for navigating the unpredictability of life and the strange disruptions that may come your way. Beyond the body, these experiences often point to a bigger cosmic lesson, a chance to reconnect with your true self and purpose. Virgos have a remarkable capacity for introspection, but sometimes their focus on perfection blinds them to the spiritual growth available through challenge. When your home life is disrupted, and you find yourself leaving and then returning, the universe invites you to explore what parts of yourself are ready to be released or transformed. This could mean letting go of limiting beliefs like "I must have everything perfect to be worthy," or "if I lose control, everything will fall apart." One Virgo I worked with faced this very struggle after a sudden home emergency forced a temporary move. In that space of vulnerability, She realized how much energy she had invested in controlling outcomes instead of trusting the flow of life. Embracing this insight allowed her to reconnect with a softer, more compassionate version of herself, one that welcomed imperfection as part of her humanity. This journey of self-discovery is deeply healing. It reminds you that you are not defined by the external order of your environment but by the peace and strength you cultivate inside. Spiritual practices like meditation, journaling, or connecting with nature become vital tools here. One Virgo shared how regular morning meditation became her anchor during a turbulent time. Even on days when her home felt chaotic, those quiet moments reminded her that stability is first an internal experience. These practices don't eliminate challenges, but they give you the strength to meet them with grace. In this light, the fortune that appears when you return home after disruption is often less about external rewards and more about inner alignment. As you shed old patterns and embrace your authentic self, you naturally attract people, opportunities, and circumstances that resonate with your true path. The power lies in your openness and willingness to receive. For instance, after overcoming a difficult relocation, one Virgo found herself unexpectedly drawn to community projects and friendships that nourished her spirit in ways her previous routine never had. Her fortune was not just luck, it was the blossoming of a life more aligned with her soul's purpose. Building on this, one of the most empowering things you can do is develop the habit of tuning into your intuition. Virgo's strong analytical mind sometimes overshadows their intuitive gifts. But when you practice listening deeply, your inner voice becomes a trustworthy guide. This might start with quiet moments of reflection, asking yourself questions like what feels right for me now, or what is this experience teaching me? Journaling your answers can reveal patterns and insights you might miss amid daily noise. Over time, you learn to trust these subtle nudges, which help you navigate change with more confidence and less fear. It's also important to cultivate patience and self-compassion during these times. Change, especially unexpected change, can trigger frustration or self-doubt. Remind yourself that growth is rarely linear. Sometimes progress feels slow or invisible, but every step forward counts. Affirmations can be helpful here, such as "I am capable of handling whatever comes my way" or "I trust the process of my life." Incorporating these into your daily routine can soften harsh inner critics and build resilience. This nurturing mindset helps you embrace the strange events not as obstacles, but as necessary teachers on your journey. Finally, the act of sharing your experience can transform isolation into connection. Virgos often internalize their struggles, but opening up to trusted friends, family, or communities brings support and healing. When you talk about the strange event that shook your home, you might be surprised how many others resonate with your story. This shared vulnerability creates bonds that empower everyone involved. On your journey, remember that you are not alone, your challenges are part of the human experience. And through them, you grow stronger, wiser, and more connected. Embracing this holistic approach, caring for your body, mind, and spirit, trusting your intuition, practicing patience, and seeking connection, turns any disruption into a powerful opportunity. The fortune that awaits you after returning from these strange experiences is ultimately a richer, fuller life. One where peace is not dependent on perfection but flows from within, unshaken by external storms. As you move through this unexpected shift in your home and life, remember this: every disruption, no matter how strange or challenging it feels in the moment, is actually opening the door to something greater. The universe is gently guiding you to step back, reflect, and return with fresh eyes and an open heart. Fortune isn't just about luck, it's about the growth, peace, and clarity you gain when you allow yourself to embrace change rather than resist it. Trust yourself, Virgo. Trust that this strange event is a sign that transformation is underway. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the grace to navigate this with calm and confidence. And WHE.